I'm so glad you're in the room with the special wallpaper.
The special wallpaper. Oh, yeah.
Are we allowed to talk about the wallpaper?
The orgy wallpaper? Yeah, thanks. What's up, everybody?
So, we have so many of your fans here all over the world. Ibiza, Germany, they're popping in. It's so awesome.
I miss everybody so much, man.
When we get to see you live in New York City again, when?
Oh, in May?
In May. We gotta wait.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's a long time. I just want to say I'm tingling all over about the chance to get to talk to you.
Me too.
Well, thank you.
But it might be because I have a little something. No, I'm kidding. Something happens in a weird bubble bath. No, I'm kidding.
For anybody out there who's popping on because you don't know, this is Laura Pergolizzi, known as LP, and in case you missed the ride, I quoted from your amazing bio in the ride that we collaborated on. The hottest blood, the toughest city, the smallest girl, and I add the biggest voice, like a prayer sung into a bottle and flung out to sea. Whoever wrote that wins everything. Oh, dude, he's a huge author. His name is Sammy Wasson, and you should check him out. He wrote a lot of books about, he's got everything from like a book about breakfast at Tiffany's to like a book about Chinatown. He's the movie he's working on. He's like a social historian, kind of like for movies and stuff. And he's right now doing the biography of Francis Ford Coppola. And oh wow, a genius, you know what I mean? And he was a new friend that I met through my friend Jamie King, and it was in the middle of the pandemic, and I was like, yeah, dude, I was like, this is kind of too soon to ask you, and it's kind of lame, but just charge me what you would charge, you know what I mean? I said, I'm not trying to do favors because I don't know you that well, but I just feel like it would be so cool if you wrote my bio, because I always hate my bios. And then I just, we like went over and I told him about my life, and we talked, and and we became good friends, and he just did such a cool job on it. And he's such a sick writer. I love his. I agree. It's one of the most amazing bios I've ever read, and okay. I quoted most of it during the first song in the class yesterday. I pulled from it during, you put in the song, the St. Vincent song, Los Angeles, and the last minute and a half of that is really quiet. And I thought that's a perfect moment where I can just share these incredible words that describe you so well. So that was awesome. I wanted to share also with you, when I sat in the back seat of the car as a kid and sang, my mom turned around and said, "Can you please stop? Can you please stop?" Like, you sang in the back seat of the car, and your mother turned down the radio that you were singing along to, and she said, "Tell us the story." The hell? No, she just said, "Is that you?" Because I was like really, my whole life revolved around sports when I was a kid. Like that's all. That was my like thing that I thought I was good at, or that I wanted to be good at. That I was out in the yard like playing soccer like 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day, and I just like, I don't know, I just didn't really. And even when I grew up a bit, singing was kind of not a thing, like because also being from my family, we didn't know how to do it. Like nobody knows how to do it really. Some people have connections, but I just was like, that is the most ridiculous thing I could ever try to do. But anyway, so when she said that about my voice, it kind of like, like any kid, I was like, really? Oh, thanks, Dan. And then I started singing. I started singing out more, like when we had chorus in school, whatever, and I started singing more, and then
and this teacher, this very eccentric teacher that we had, she was like, you know, like this New York City lady, and she was like, who is that? Who? And, you know, like my vibrato was like there, you know, a bit, and I think that's why I was embarrassed, because like the vibrato thing felt like, you know, very like kind of like a little bit much, you know what I mean? Like what, like, because I don't think people understand that it's a part of your voice. When you're a kid, they think you're doing it to be like, ah, you know, like
Right.
trying to be like weird, you know. I think anyway. So I was just like, but I was singing, and when she asked, all the kids were like,
It's that one.
it's coming from over there. And then she put me in like the school play and all that shit. And that's when like I started to get like, you know, less shy and more like into it. And then I went to a camp my whole life, like every summer, and that's when it really kind of, my friends always like sing for us and all this stuff. So that's how it was born. But it all started with my mother giving me that little bit of encouragement. So.
Isn't it amazing? One moment, one thing someone says to us can trigger an entire life's path.
Yeah.
But was your mother also a singer, right?
Someone said, "I'm so glad you discovered you." Who discovered? My mother. She discovered me in the backseat of her car.
It's brilliant.
Yeah,
often when our parents say something encouraging to us, we're like,
yeah,
because they said it.
What did you just ask me? I'm sorry.
Wasn't your mother also a singer?
She was, yes. Yeah, she was, she studied opera, and she like, you know, and she sang, I think like the biggest thing she did was like a big group show where she had a solo at Carnegie Hall. But it was, you know, it was cool. But then I think, you know, the thing was, I didn't really ever remember my mom like pining away about singing, you know, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like, cool. Like it was like never, like it was never like, you know, I had you when I couldn't bear singing.
That's wild, because you must have got.
Yeah, you know, but yeah, she, you know, she loved to sing as well. She had a beautiful voice, and I don't, you know, like I can hear her voice in my voice at times. It's pretty cool.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. Like, do you feel that? Do you remember what she sounded like? And that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yes, I can. And I have like an interesting hybrid of my parents' voices. And my father couldn't sing a note; he was like tone deaf.
That's like me. I wanted to know what, in your songwriting, which, by the way, I don't know if everybody knows, I'm reading a list here. You've written songs for Backstreet Boys, for Cher, for Celine Dion. You wrote Cheers for Rihanna, which, like, it makes me hear these songs differently. Because I hear you singing them, too.
Yeah.
What can you talk about your process? Like, how do you give birth to a song?
You're just like, go like this, and it shoots across the room. It's pretty crazy. You know, I don't know. There's many different ways. You know, like even you know, like sometimes it starts. The biggest thing I think that I kind of collect are titles, like concepts. That's for me. That I don't like to. I've worked with some songwriters. One of my collaborators a while back, Billy Steinberg, who's written some of the biggest songs ever, like, you know, True Colors and Eternal Flame and Like a Virgin and stuff. And he's like a mentor of mine, but he does. He writes all the words first. Like that's his main thing is the lyric, and he's a brilliant lyricist, you know. But I don't really like to shoehorn lyrics into something, you know, into a thing and make melodies around it. I like to get concepts and but looser concepts, like a title, and then I know what I'm going to talk about. And it could be very simple. Like there's a lot of simple, seemingly like, you know, like Goodbye, for instance. That's not, you know, it's not like, oh my God, that title's insane. How did you think of it? You know, like it's like, you know, it's like it's fairly like straightforward, simple, generic, if you will, in a way. but I felt like I knew what I wanted to as far as how I was gonna develop it. I knew that, and um, so I like to like have that, and then start like spitting melodies. Like if either I come in with some stuff, or somebody has chords, or we just like all throw down the music, and then I get on the mic and I start just doing all the melodies. And usually it's the first thing that that's why I named my last record Heart to Mouth, because that's like a process for me that as soon as I start to make up melodies, it just feels like I found a way to just unleash this thing, to my, and then if I feel like this is the concept I'm going with, I don't know, the words just like go very fast for me. Like
You hit that flow.
yeah, because I just and then I have the melody. The melody is what to me dictates how I'm gonna, the cadence of the words and how I'm gonna go. So yeah, I kind of just have it down like that. The people I work with and stuff are like often like, how did you write that so fast? And I don't, it's just like, it's like a exercise. It's like, I think it came from, I call it gun to your head songwriting, when you have to write for other people, because you just go in there and there's no I'm not that inspired today, by the way, like you're just like, I can't I'm not really into it today. Like the vibe is terrible, I don't like this producer. I don't even like this artist really, whatever. Because it was like back in the day, it was like constant. I did like 5 sessions a week,
Wow.
and sometimes I'd be like, just like screaming inside, like I fucking hate this right now, So, but then I always did it, and it was just like, and like almost 2 years of that, then kind of. So now with my own music, I just let it rip, Like if I don't feel like going to the studio, I just go anyway, and then a lot of times something crazy happens.
There's some discipline there, and trusting yourself.
Yeah,
It's gonna come.
It was like an interesting outcome of of a seemingly, I wouldn't say dead end thing, but man, it was, writing songs for other people is very difficult. Like my friends that do it successfully, it's like, it's like Nate Campany, one of my writing partners. He's got a brilliant career and he's so amazing. But it's also because he's like, one of the best people to have around. He's just like, no matter what he does, he can just be sitting there, and like you say something or sing something, and he gets this smile on his face, and it literally changes the entire chemistry in the room. It's cool.
Beautiful. I wanted to share another beautiful thing that you're doing. You are partnering with the Trevor Project and the organization called, not the organization, but Sound Waves. And they're actually taking I just discovered this, that they take songs and take the sound waves from the songs and turn it into physical printed art. And they're taking your song Strange, which is one of my absolute favorites, and turning it into art to support the Trevor Project. How did that come together?
I know, it's pretty insane.
Oh my God, do you have it there?
It's like to see it. I signed a bunch of them the other day. It's just beautiful. I love it, and I don't know. It's just like things like that. Just help get the word out there. They're like that there's support out there for people. Because people don't always know when they're in trouble where to look and where to go.
So I will post about that again in my story after we come off of here. Your upcoming album, actually before the album, I wanted to ask you about this thing that I learned where a previous producer wanted to put you in a dress like a fucking girl. And
with that,
you clearly had to stand up for yourself. What was that
by
like?
the end of that conversation, he was wearing a dress.
Let's hear about it.
What's my vibe?
Yeah, well, how did that conversation go? Like, did you actually, like, say, you know what?
It's not even a conversation. It's just like, what? Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get a drink over there. Yeah, I don't
You
know.
know, a lot of people really struggle with being true to themselves and standing up for that. I think especially in incredibly tough industries like the music industry. Did you feel like it was a struggle to stand up for yourself, or were you just like,
You know, yes and no. I mean, you know, I've taken, you know, I'm very, wily, you know what I mean? Like, I had to be, you know, I just had to get through, you know, like I spent, you know, years sometimes kind of, you know, I'll tell you a brief story. And, you know, when I was on Warner Brothers, you know, my project was kind of commandeered by the chairman of the label, who was a huge Grammy Award-winning producer, very talented man, not the right guy to produce my record. But I stuck with it and dealt with it because I knew that there was no way that this guy was not going to let it go with me, and if he did, I was going to be buried. So I just fucking, you know,
did what you had to do?
yeah, you know, I fucking went, you know, I did wear a dress in front of the shoot, you know, like that's like what I did. I did what, you know, any person, woman would do. Maybe not a man, but like I just got my way through, and my record got released at least. You know, it wouldn't have gotten released at all. I'll be honest with you. I know this for a fact, and I played that shit like a game because I had to. I knew it. I knew it deep in my soul that like I had to do it this way. You know, and then. You know, and then the funniest thing with then he got fired, and the people that fired him were in charge, and they didn't like me at all. So I went in and I played them Lost on You and Muddy Waters and Strange, and they dropped me. Which I tell the story all the time because I want every artist out there to go, oh shit, really? You know, because it's just how it works. But I wouldn't have even been there to fucking make it that far if I didn't play it the way I played it. I would have been dropped years before and maybe not gotten to that place. And Forever for Now, the record wouldn't have been put out at all. It almost didn't get put out at all. I almost got, you know, pushed by the wayside. And, you know, and when you think about that, I mean, think about that. Like, the song that made my career, and two others that, you know, did a ton of shit for me as well, I mean, were not even good enough to stay on a label. You know? I mean, you know, Muddy Waters was at the end of Orange is the New Black, fourth season. Fucking Strange was like a huge Samsung commercial. I mean, and none of that would have happened. I mean, you know, well, but none of that was seen by a guy who is the president of a major fucking label. It's incredible, and people should know these things, you know, because, you know, I want them to stay inspired and stay, you know, aware that like. There's a lot of people in this world, you know what I mean? And you can find them. And that, you know, and that's the thing, like, you know, people have to accept things, you know, just like in, you know, in life right now, there's some people that don't accept my personal life. And to those people, please, be well, and
move on.
Goodbye. I love you, and take care, you know? It's like, and, you know, I don't know what about me made anyone think that that's not how I feel. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. You know, I'm always trying to put love out there, and I'm so grateful that I got to do this for my life and put music out there. And I'm gonna keep doing it. And if you like it,
I love what you said about keep putting love out there. One of the things that's in your bio was he quotes you as saying that you just want to look every single person in the audience in the eye the whole time and to make sure that everybody feels safe.
yeah.
That really spoke to me. I feel that in your music. I feel that in your words. I feel that in literally in the way your voice sounds. That deep, deep yearning to make, in all of the chaos of the world and all of the heartbreak, that you have this incredible desire to make sure people know that they're okay and they're not alone.
And then that they're part of the group, like, you know, like life and Instagram and all the things can get very like, you know, high schoolish, you know what I mean? And I always like feel like I don't want people you know, even like, you know, how it goes on tour. It's like sometimes it's really difficult to see everybody, but I hate when I see someone out there that can't get into the whatever it is, you know, and they feel left out. It just breaks my fucking heart, you know.
Yeah.
And I want people to feel included, you know. Like that's the biggest thing I feel like I'm trying to do musically is make it inclusive, you know.
Yeah. That's an incredibly important mission to have, and I feel exactly the same way. Your new album.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite song? Is there anything you can tell us? Is it still top secret? What's happening?
It's pretty top secret, but I will tell you that, you know, there's only when Goodbye comes out on the 8th, I think. That'll be the 4th song, and there's 10 more songs to hear. So and you know, I've been listening to the master of it, and I really love it, and I feel like, you know, it's definitely an album. Like, you know, it's definitely something like when you hear the whole thing, I think it'll be like interesting. The title track. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it yet. I
Don't get in trouble.
Who's gonna get in trouble? I'll text and see if I'm allowed. Let me see. I'll call Ian right now.
We're gonna find out if you're allowed to tell us.
I feel like my shit's gonna fall. Yeah. Hold on. Can I say there? Can I say?
I love that this is happening.
The record on IG. Boop. Okay.
See what happens. Awesome. Yeah. Here's a question for you while we're waiting for that. If you could, if there is one piece of advice you could give to a young artist trying to come up in music, what would you tell them?
I always say, just write songs, because I feel like keep writing songs, because I know for a fact that, first of all, it is the way through to find yourself. It is the path to get to know yourself better, as far as just your voice as a songwriter. Just like when you you know, like that guy who wrote My Body, like Sammy, you know. I can't say it, sorry.
Well, that was exciting anyway.
The day that we release Goodbye, it's gonna go.
Okay.
So it's like a week, it's like Sammy's amazing voice as a writer. Like when you read an author or hear, like when someone's got a sound or a way of expressing themselves. Like I think, you know, my fans know, like, sort of know how I write now, my lyrical like bend, you know. And I think that I found that just through volume, you know what I mean? Like song after song. Like, you know, I always tell people that, you know, one of the most freeing times for me as a songwriter was when I stopped going like, this is the song. This is the one. This is the one that's going to do it. I'm going to get, this is what, I wrote the song. It's, you know, it's a hit. It's a this. It's going to get me this, you know, and it was not the way. As soon as I realized that even if I wrote a hit, I'd have to write another hit, or at least write more songs. That was when I was like, oh shit, wow. Because, you know, like Lost on You, for instance, like I just described, I was fucking dropped, for God's sakes, for that song. So I didn't sit there and go like, people like, you know, you must have known that was a great song. I was like, I honestly didn't. I would never, ever guess that was even a single, you know? And so I was like 30, almost 40 songs away from it by the time it started to hit. So, you know, I wasn't thinking about it. And it's so freeing like that, you know, like, because you just keep going. And I can also, as far as writing songs, I can also see the development. Like I sometimes feel like a song is a stepping stone to another song I had, you know, like I have an example that I think is an example, a song that never came out, to be honest, which is perfectly poetic. It's called Fighting with Myself, and it's out there somewhere on like live, you know. But I feel like that song, the emotional bend of that song, and like the the drum of that song was a precursor to Lost on You for me. And I feel like this is how it builds to me. So and I've been flown up to the highest heights and dropped on my head before you ever even discovered me or knew me. And so I've been dropped so many times and had so many people say so many amazing things to me, and then nothing happened. So I just know, but I do know that they can't come to you, they don't come to your house, not yet, and rescue you to the ground and take your guitar away and stop you from writing songs. That's you. So you can always do that, and if you keep doing it, I promise you something will happen somewhere. I really do. I don't like to make promises like that, but I feel like if you keep up that kind of pace, like, I'd love to sign a writer someday or like an artist someday. I'm always on the lookout for one. But I'm curious because I think I've seen a few that I know that I'm like, I can see it in that person's eyes that they're a lifer, that I would fucking like, that they're never gonna stop. And that's how I am, and so, but it's hard to find because there are a lot of people that are like just waiting, keep writing for that one thing to happen, and I find that very, like a shackle to me,
It's very, very inspiring to be reminded to just trust yourself. I don't mean to say just is a bad word, but to trust yourself and stay in the process and really, really, really listen to your own gut. Just keep going no matter what. We have to sign off, sadly, but what's that?
I said, cool. It was really nice talking to you. Thank you so much.
It was really nice talking to you, but I'm wondering if for like
these classes, she's an amazing teacher, and it's really your class is inspiring. And I kind of stick to yoga a bit because I just like if I even see like a half inch on my butt of muscle, I'm just like no, oh god, I mean muscle in my butt, but I like to be streamlined. I don't like to get too. God forbid that my leg should stay up instead of fall off. But yeah, I love it. And she gifted me this bike at the beginning of the quarantine. Holy shit! And it saved my life. It really did. And
I'm really happy to hear that.
Thank you so much again for that. I really, really, really appreciate it. And
it's my pleasure. The fact that you even saw my comment on your story, I was like, oh my god, she's talking to me.
Yeah. I try to like see what's going on. I do this thing. I can say it, here, but like I do this thing on Instagram where I just kind of float around and like and see and say thank you and say hi and and see people discussing my love life and etc. But
yes,
great. As a reminder to knock on your fucking door and go into your house, later on and be like, yeah, I don't like her. Yeah, I'm sorry. No. I like the old girlfriend. The other girlfriend. Fine. You
Thank you for your approval.
But I don't. No. Oh god. Or like like DMing like Jeff Buckley back in the day. Not comparing myself to him, but just being like Jeff. I don't like this new chick you're seeing. No. Really? I've said it before online. I'm gonna say it again because I like to reiterate it. And it's just a few people here, and most people are very nice. And we're gonna keep it positive. Hey! And all the people that are negative about it, I love you too. All right. But I'm gonna block you. But I love you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Yeah.
Mwah.
See you. Go visit her on Peloton. Go get a Peloton.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye. How do I get out of here?